Rooster Teeth News is brought to you by NatureBox. Snack smarter with French toast granola, sweet blueberry almonds, and more. Get 50% off your first order when you visit naturebox.com/roosterteeth.
Happy Valentine's Day, gamers! I'm Ashley Jenkins, and before you set off on your romantic co-op adventures, here are some stimulating conversation topics you can use to show how current you are. Final Fantasy Tactics creator Yasumi Masumo has successfully kickstarted Unsung story Tale of the Guardians, a spiritual successor to his previous tactical RPGs, which include Final Fantasy Tactics, Vagrant Story, and Final Fantasy XII. So he's kind of a big deal in that space. He's also reunited with several of his previous Final Fantasy Tactics partners for this new project, so if you are a big fan of that franchise, prepare to be excited. Akihiko Yoshida, in addition to designing the Final Fantasy Tactics characters, also worked on Tactics Ogre, Vagrant Story, Final Fantasy XII, and the new 3DS release Bravely Default that's being compared to the best of classic Final Fantasy. Hitoshi Sakimoto composed the score for Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy XII, and more than 70 other games as well. In this new game, traditional square tiles are exchanged for triangular ones, and your characters stand at the intersections rather than in the center of the tiles, offering hex-directional movement options. Characters will be categorized by profession, with each containing several class options your characters can specialize in, depending on your tactical needs. For example, a noble profession may have class options like a Ballast Knight, Royal Hoplite, or Orb Guard, depending on whether you need an attacker, healer, or defender. The Kickstarter has just ended after squeaking over the line yesterday with more than $645,000 in funding out of a goal of $600,000. It will be available in 6 languages on PC, Mac, Windows tablets, and Linux. Unfortunately, the Kickstarter didn't make enough to add PS Vita, PS4, or 3DS versions. Next, Gearbox chief Randy Pitchford says the studio is not working on Borderlands 3, and in fact, they don't even know when they might consider it. He says, "We love Borderlands, and we know customers do too, so we will be doing more in Borderlands. But the thing that, when you think of what Borderlands 3 should be, no, we are not developing that right now. We don't know what that is yet." He goes on to explain how much more ambitious he thinks the third iteration in this series will need to be. "It should be bigger and better than Borderlands 2. It should carry forward the story. It's probably crazy multi-platform, depending on timing," he says. In the meantime, the final Headhunter DLC for Borderlands 2 has been announced for April. Borderlands 2 is coming to Vita and will get a bundle with the new slim version of that handheld when it launches this spring in North America, and they're working with the Walking Dead vets, Telltale Games, on their Tales from the Borderlands project. They've already got a lot of other balls in the air too. Furious 4, a new Brothers in Arms game since they decided to spin Furious 4 off into its own thing, a Homeworld HD remake, and a new Homeworld game called Homeworld Shipbreakers, which is being developed by previous Homeworld developers at Blackbird Interactive. He also reveals that the studio is working on 2 entirely new IPs for next-gen platforms, but he isn't ready to talk more about those just yet. In other next-gen news, Master Chief voice actor Steve Downes has reignited the rumors that Halo 5 won't come until 2015, and the next Halo journey that gamers have been promised this year is actually Halo 2 Anniversary. Yesterday, he said, "I think you may be ahead of yourself on Halo 5. I wouldn't expect anything until 2015. What you can look forward to this year is an anniversary edition of Halo 2. However, after the quote blew up, he came back today to clarify that he really doesn't know anything. He says, "I was just mentioning some of the things I had read online about Halo 2. I have no idea if there will be an anniversary edition and didn't mean to leave that impression." At the end of last month, the great ship Microsoft sprung a serious leak which shared a ton of insider information about Microsoft's future plans for Xbox One, including a white version, a $399 version, and release windows for most of Xbox One's major upcoming franchises, including Halo 5, which the leak claimed would be a 2015 release, and that a Halo 2 Anniversary Edition would release later this year. Finally, because it is Valentine's Day, we thought we'd bring you our picks for the best games to play with your life co-op buddy. Or, frankly, just a regular buddy, if that's more up your alley.
Obviously, Michael is my life partner, so we like to play recently a lot of a Lego movie video game. It's a video game based off of a movie, which I think in turn they should make a movie about the video game if they really want to come full circle in the entire trademark. But either way, it's great to play with your best friend, your lover, your dog, or yourself if you're alone. One hand for one controller, one hand for the other.
So basically, my recommendation is the best multiplayer game on the Xbox, the original one, and that is Fusion Frenzy.
I like to play Halo 4 on co-op because it's a fun game and you get to shoot aliens.
The Gears of War franchise on Xbox 360.
I would say that my favorite co-op game has got to be Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. I don't know how many evenings I've wasted with my friends online. It's just like the perfect 1 to 2 hour mission length. Plus you get to kill zombies, so there you go.
Obviously, the best / worst co-op game to play with a loved one would be Portal 2, as it usually takes about 5 to 7 minutes to test your relationship. And if you can get through the game without breaking up, then, you know, good going.
My favorite co-op game is probably Halo 3. I remember going through that with a couple of friends of mine, getting all the achievements, and it was just a blast. So definitely Halo 3.
I would say the best co-op game of all time is Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. Even though everyone who plays it with me is way worse than I am.
You got Fable 3. It's pretty good. Not as good as Fable 2, but it's pretty good. It's got co-op. What else? Castle Crashers. That's fun. You can whack people. Couch co-op. And Mario Party. If you want to end your relationship, play that.
And that's the last news for the week. Are you bummed that Borderlands 3 looks to be several years away at least? Or will the Telltale game be enough to tide you over? Let us know in the comments. Then check roosterteeth.com for some Ruby-themed Valentines and to see which RT couple is most in tune.